Welcome to the only comedy podcast on the internet. It's the Coffee Jelly Hour episode. I've been waiting for this.
Just fucking do it.
69, dude. It's 69.
Ooh.
That's it. Yeah. I'm Tony.
Nice.
I'm joined by Ace,
Nice.
Matt, and Seth. We're preaching caffeine, motherfuckers. How are we all doing? We all okay?
Still sick.
Are you still sick?
I'm
what
still
the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, my fever's gone, but I still have like this shitty cough.
Oh, that's not good.
Like it's worse in the mornings and at night when I'm trying to sleep. It's fuck off.
Just do what Ace does, not sleep. It'll be fine. Just stay awake all the time. Listen, I want to have a little bit of a bitch about Easter because I haven't really spoken since Easter.
Okay, go for it.
Right. I kind of love holidays. I'm an atheist, but I love Easter because of chocolate eggs.
Me too.
I love.
Well, I don't love Easter as much.
Chris,
I like candy.
Hypocrite.
I love Chris. Yeah. I love Christmas because of presents and shit like that. But at Easter,
And Christ.
At Easter, I realised if you've got kids, these holidays completely fuck you over because I've kind of like spent my sort of hard-earned cash on chocolate eggs, and we always get like some toys for the kids as well because we're that type of parents. And then we tell the kids it's all from the Easter Bunny. And, I just feel like I always get fucked right over by the Easter Bunny. And it's like, the Easter Bunny's
don't get
great.
any of the credit.
Yeah, parents are shit. Easter Bunny's good. And even at Christmas, there's always like a section of presents. From Santa. These are from Santa. It's like, hold on, your best presents from Santa? No. I fucking bought
Can I
that,
tell you?
so.
Well, Tony, can I tell you how my wife got around that when her children were young? All the best presents were marked from mom, and then Santa brought like pajamas and underwear.
Yeah.
See, I was gonna say because my parents always did like some from mom, some from dad, and some from Santa.
Yeah, mine did too. Yeah.
That's what we kind of.
So have you just been giving them all from Santa?
No.
I wish I had parents.
It's at Christmas. It's always like some from Santa, some from us, kind of thing. And then it's like, I hear my daughter say, "Oh yeah, this was from Santa. This is great. This
You've
present."
just
And I was
been
like,
doing it
"No."
wrong, Tony. You could have been getting the credit all along.
I know, you're right. It should have. Santa gets you shitty clothes. Easter Bunny just gives you a shitty fucking item of clothing. Yeah, it's got a
right. And then the Easter Bunny could have brought I don't know. He could have put like vegetables. He could have put like peas in the eggs, and then you could have given them the chocolate eggs.
It's the chocolate. Yeah. I should do that. But the problem with Easter with kids, everything is from the Easter Bunny. Nothing's from us. So it's like, what the fuck? So yeah, I really feel like ripped off. But I don't want to kind of ruin that sort of illusion.
I have a feeling your kids will catch on pretty quick anyway.
Well,
so
right. I have a feeling.
Unless we all die.
Yeah. It's true, and then they'll never know. I reckon my daughter knows already, but she just plays along, so she gets presents. Because I remember when I was a kid. What?
Wait, hold on. Are you saying that if she let on that she knew you would stop giving her presents?
Damn straight.
No.
Well, no. You know what? I remember when I was a kid, and the whole thing about Santa, and I was kind of like, yeah, I know he doesn't exist, but I'm going to carry on pretending to believe just for my mum and dad, and just to make sure I kind of did it for my mum and dad. And I was like, I want to get presents. So it's a really weird thing. I mean, it's a fun thing. It's good. And I know some people are like, I'm going to tell my kid it's not real, and it's like, there's still kids. Let's just fucking be chill. But
lots of people do that.
But yeah, I just felt fucked over by these.
How do you know at what age you're supposed to just like? Do you wait for them to figure out, or just sit down and tell them one day?
No. Just my whole philosophy is just wait until they find out, and it's up to them if they want to admit it.
What if they don't?
You know what? No. Here's the thing. I never admitted that I knew Santa didn't exist to my mum and dad ever to this day, kind of thing. They still think I believe.
Actually, I don't think I have either, Tony. Yeah. Now that I think about it,
it's just like a natural. It's just like a natural thing. He's just like, let's not. We won't talk about it. We just keep going.
I think the closest thing that I've come to is because I work for the Postal Service, and one thing when you work for them is like when letters to Santa come in, you can open them and answer them.
Oh, really?
And so I write Santa letters every year.
There's some dark shit in there.
No, there's not. They're great. They're just like
Santa, I don't know who else to tell this to, but
No,
I want my daddy to stop drinking.
No, the saddest one I ever did, I did get one sad one time, one kind of sad one time, and it was just from an entire family, and even the mother had wrote a Santa letter, just kind of like, I guess she just put it in with her kids. I don't know where she thought it was going or who might open it, but it was just kind of like, my oldest daughter doesn't believe in Santa anymore, but we've had a rough year, and she could use a cheering up letter from Santa Claus, and I was just like, okay, sure.
It's like there's one. It's like,
please send pictures to this email.
Dear Santa, dear Santa, please stop my uncle touching me. Signed.
Nope,
Ace.
never.
Sorry,
Haven't.
Too far. Yeah, you took that one too far.
I'm gonna change the subject and say, guys, I watched my very first episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000 this week.
Oh,
gross.
I had never seen Mystery Science Theater 3000
So what do you
before,
think?
and I did not enjoy it. No, I watched an old one.
Oh.
No,
Do you like
I'm
it?
going to come out and say it. I've always thought that show was fucking dumb.
I did not enjoy it at all. I'm like, what is everybody... And I watched one of the ones that's supposed to be the best, too. I watched the Manos Hands of Fate one. And I'm I don't understand why everybody loves this so much.
Well,
it's not good.
I know everyone's crazy about it. I know there's been a Kickstarter and it's back and all that shit, but I've never watched any. So just briefly describe the whole thing behind it. What was it?
It's basically really, people telling you what's funny.
It's really cheaply it's really cheaply made, and it's a guy with some robot puppets that like sits in front of really bad movies and makes not very funny jokes about the movie. Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's always been my issue, is that basically they take these movies that are well, like Plan 9.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can watch Plan 9 and find it funny, but it's like Plan 9 for idiots. It's basically a thing that's teaching you where to laugh. Like, look right there, that's a paper plate on string, and it's like, we all fucking know that, you fucking dipswitch.
But the weird thing is, like, people I admire love this show and think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna figure out what's up with this show, and I didn't. I was like, people are gonna like hate me. I'm so glad Ace doesn't like. I'm like, I think other people are gonna hate me for this.
So it's kind of like,
I've always suspected it was like hipster nomenon, where like some really cool people like it, and so a lot of people had to attach themselves to the cool people who like it. Like, yeah, I really get it, but they're really painful to watch because they're not particularly funny, especially if you can be entertained by your own friends or by yourself, you have no fucking reason to watch it.
No, there's
nothing redeeming.
so it's kind of like enforced
like it.
comedy sort of commentary.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And a lot of time, at least in my experience, the comedy's obvious. It's like, look at how cheap that monster looks. And it's like, no shit. Like, thank you for pointing out the obvious. Like, why don't you fucking do some commentary on something that would be entertaining? I'd love to see them do comedy I'd love to see them do a comedy thing on, like, Forrest Gump. That would be fucking hilarious to me, because at least then you have derivative humor to be had.
Yeah.
When you take an Ed Wood movie and you go, like, what a bad movie this is, it's like...
So you're taking bad movies to state the bad movies.
That's what they did with riff tracks.
Yeah. So Seth, did you say you
they took
Mystery Theater? Did you like it? Or
Yeah.
Seth?
You're dumb and bad for liking it.
Yeah, I
just think the jokes are funny.
You think they're funny? Well, here's the thing. I say I never watched one. Probably ages ago, I was like, oh right, yeah. I kind of stumbled across one, put it on. It started, and it was that whole setup of like puppets in a theater, and I was like, all right, it's going to kick in a minute. It's going to start in a minute, and there's all these bad jokes. I'm thinking, does something else happen? And I think I turned it off after about 10 minutes. I was like, nothing else is happening here. And I was waiting for something else, so I kind of didn't really understand.
Because half the time you want to watch the fucking movie and just laugh at it.
Yeah. Because the bad movies, they're picking bad movies. Yeah. I guess it's kind of like cheaper to pick those movies from a licensing point of view.
Well,
maybe some of the stuff's in public domain. So yeah, it's like, we can use this one for free.
Well, that and they're safe bets. Like, if you did do one that was egging on Forrest Gump, for instance, there'd be a million people going like, how dare you make fun of that movie, or heaven forfend like the original Ghostbusters. Like, you could make fun of that, but then you'd have a million fanboys going like, rah! So Yeah, they
did have riff. They do have riff tracks, and they do more contemporary.
Yeah,
movies.
that's true. Yeah, that is true.
That might be slightly more. I've only seen one riff track. I know that it's some of the same people. The only one I saw was for Santa Claus versus the Easter Bunny or whatever, and I was like, the movie is. It's Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. And the movie was amusing, but the commentary was just like, wow, look at how weird this movie is. I'm like, it's a weird movie. It's a weird foreign movie.
Yeah, it's weird because it's Mystery Science Theatre is back now. It's like people like Paul Mattingly and stuff like that. They're made up. It's like, this is amazing. It's back. It's great. It's the best thing ever. And I'm like, maybe I need to give this a go again. But
that's why I was checking it out, and I was like, lots of people, lots of my friends and everything were super excited about MST3K, and I was like, okay, well, I'll finally give this a go, and I couldn't do it. I was like, this is just.
But look at all the hip comedians attached to it. Like, I love Patton Oswalt, so when you see his name attached, you go like, well, fuck, it's Patton Oswalt. If he's in it, it's gotta be good.
Fucking hell, it's got an 8.6 on IMDb as well. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, wow.
Yeah.
It's impressive, but I don't know. Do I waste my time on that?
I think it's funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's pretty funny.
Oh.
That's fine that you think it's funny. I'm just saying I'm not saying that there's anything wrong when people think it's funny. I'm just saying I don't understand. Like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe. And that's why I thought people would be like, what are you talking about? It's great. MST3K is awesome. And I'd be like, well, okay, maybe I'm just weird, but I don't know.
We're all different. We are all different. So
this is true.
And I'm not saying that nobody finds redemption in it. I just think that what happened was a long time ago, a lot of really hip comedians really enjoyed it, because comedians have different senses of humor. And I think a lot of people jumped on this bandwagon and were like, I love this, despite the fact that, I don't know, the core of the show is not that great, but whatever. To each to their own.
Exactly.
God has a plan.
He does, and that's to get rid of all the gays. But now that I know that a subsect, 100% of the definite homosexuals on this podcast, not counting the 3 probably homosexuals, enjoys Mystery Science Theater. So therefore, 100% of all gays like Mystery Science Theater, so therefore it's gay propaganda. And I don't know, I just don't like shows like that being so preachy. You know, I don't like them coming on my network, paid television, and spreading their feminist agenda.
Speaking of agendas and stuff, have any of you watched Bill Nye Saves the World yet?
Oh, no, I haven't seen it yet. Everyone's raving about it.
I've seen it memed to death.
I've been enjoying it. It's entertaining. I like it.
I do need to watch it.
I heard he attached he attached himself to the feminism issue, and people weren't too keen on that.
What do you?
The whole where he talked about genders on a spectrum.
Oh, I don't think he attached it to. He did talk about genders on a spectrum. I don't think it was any.
It feminism?
No, it was literally just explaining how scientifically human sexuality and gender identity work.
Oh no, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying that a lot of people immediately were like, "Well, what a social justice Bill Nye."
Yeah, I think he's getting a lot of that because what the show really is trying to. It's basically just trying to take issues that are in the news, science-related, because unfortunately most people are woefully scientifically ignorant, and he's trying to explain, look, this is global climate change. This is scientifically what we know. This is why it's a thing. This is why you should be thinking about it. These are GMOs. This is how they work. This is why there's not all the bad things going on that you think are going on. This is gender identity and human sexuality issues. Here's how it works from a scientific point of view. Here's fad diets, and you see all these fad diets. Here's why they're bad and why they don't work scientifically. It's really just, and it's a show for adults. It's not like Bill Nye the Science Guy for kids. It's, not in like a bad way, but not like in an inappropriate way, but in the way that this is clearly serious things. Yeah, this is clearly not like, oh guys, here's how an airplane works. This is like, guys, this is what is going on in the news in our world right now. Here's what you should be thinking about it from a scientific point of view.
There's personally, I have to say, my most respectful thing about Bill Nye by far is that he changed his opinion on GMOs.
Yeah. Yep.
He used to be hardcore anti-GMO.
Yep.
He was an anti-GMO nut, and I like the fact that he's come around on that because it shows a lot of character. But if I'm going to play devil's advocate, I think the only reason why people clung on to the gender politics thing is because it's such a frivolous battle for the most part. It's one thing about trans acceptance, but it's another thing when it's just weird that gets elevated to the same degree as, say, climate change. And I'm trying to play devil's advocate because I myself, I don't give a fuck. It's his show to talk about whatever he wants, and quite frankly, I do think that sexuality and gender is technically on a spectrum. I just think that there's a lot of people who elevate that issue higher than it needs to be. Because they do this whole, like, my gender is my identity thing, and it's like, I respect that, but I don't want to legislate that everybody has to respect that, because I've been called a faggot and had stuff thrown at me, and I know what it's like to be on the oppressive side. That's fine, and I hate it. But I don't want people to be legislated into having to accept me for my effeminate long hair or anything. I just think they could still think I'm an asshole. They could think I'm a gross tranny asshole if they want. That's fucking fine. I just don't want to be killed for it.
No.
I think that's where people need to make a better issue on it. Both sides, by the way.
Yeah.
Because the people who are against it are like, all these trannies are up and trying to tell me, and they want to fuck our little girls, and it's like, no. And then at the same time, I'm getting in dangerously close to actual journalism. But at the same time, there's people who are pro the issue who have this weird, like, we should, every form should have 17 different gender applications on it. It's
geez.
Or the form should just say, do you have a penis or vagina?
Well,
yeah.
Because that's sort of what it's...
You know what's funny about that?
I was going to say, it's kind of like, did you hear, did any of you hear Penn Sunday School this week where he was talking to Peter Boghossian?
Not yet. I've got it.
Well, Peter Boghossian is an atheist activist, but he also teaches at college, and one of the things he said on Sunday during the interview was, in my college, it's getting to... And he was kind of... on the side of, he thinks, colleges should be an open place where people are free to accept themselves or to express themselves and exchange ideas without people getting offended. And he goes, I have trouble teaching because I literally have students come into my class who are gender fluid and decide that they want to change their gender mid-class and get upset when I don't address them by their new gender. He goes, I can't teach because my students keep complaining because I refuse to because I refuse to change their gender mid-class. I won't call my students it. I won't call my students they. Yeah. And if they come in and they're a boy or a male, I'm not going to start addressing them as she halfway through the class because they changed their mind at 1:05, and I'm like,
hilarious.
Wow.
Well,
I'm like,
and that is exactly what I'm saying about how there is the pro side needs to take a minute and acknowledge that stuff like that can be problematic.
Is that real?
No, that is a thing. You can see that there is factual evidence that there are people.
I mean, is that anecdotal? Was there somebody that decided mid-class that they wanted?
He said there was. I can only take him at his word.
I don't like it's hyperbolic.
All students are like that. No, I'm really joking. Fucking 8 students. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very. It's a weird subject because I intentionally am waffly about it. I'm really waffly because I'm not a man's rights activist. I'm not like I don't believe.
Yes,
that
you
we have
are.
to have
Stop mansplaining things.
No. It's funny we're talking about this because today I follow What the F Facts on Twitter, which I love, and it's all these random facts. And today I learnt that we all start life as a female. When we're a fetus, we're a female, and it's only until the Y chromosome kicks in that you might become a male. So it's like that's why men have got nipples.
This is very true
because we were all female.
And again, your sexuality and your identity, it's all fucking really fluid.
Yeah.
Because there are people who are so repulsed by the idea of another penis. They're so disgusted by it. They're so fucking hetero that even the thought of seeing porn with a penis is offensive.
Please don't use that word. It's just horrible. Please.
Well, why are you trying to make this podcast funny? Don't you know this is a very informative podcast?
That's true, guys. This podcast has been...
Stop sticking your penis in my face.
I was Listen,
as Frank Zappa said, it doesn't matter what you got between your legs, you're still dumb, basically. So it doesn't matter if you're a man, a woman, or whatever,
but
you're dumb. So.
But he had white privilege, and I think we could all agree that is a real issue.
Let's leave saving the world to Bill Nye.
Yeah, please.
This is very true.
Let's
very
save
true.
some fan fiction.
Should we get on?
Let's save Jump City.
Should we get on with some fan fiction?
Bill Nye is an asshole. I only listen to Beaker. Beaker's World.
Beaker, yeah, that's he knows where it's at, definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, Bill Nye didn't have, like, characters and shit. It was just his gay ass up there being gay.
You know, well, you know, has anyone got the Muppet Show on DVD or Blu-ray? Because if you have, when Beaker comes on, hit the subtitles, and it will tell you what he is really saying, and it's
oh my God.
Absolutely fucking racist. Some of the shit he comes out with, it's foul. Honestly, Beaker is an absolute foul racist. Honestly, so yeah, there we go.
No wonder they
heard it here
censored him.
first.
Very good.
So shall we get on with some fan fiction?
I suppose so.
Well, this is
Yeah, but don't you want to talk about gender and identity and politics more?
for another hour.
Making fun of yourself for bringing up that discussion.
We could talk about Donald Trump.
Is he?
Remember when he did that
I
thing?
love it when you guys talk about me on your show. Okay, it's amazing. You guys,
I want to go one episode
Without
Hey,
shit.
at least we didn't talk about remaking Ghostbusters with women.
We did talk about Ghostbusters,
But
didn't
we
we? Or was that
talked
before?
about that pre-show. We got it out of the
Okay.
way, but I mean,
Okay, but now we brought it up. So
yeah, I know. Look, I'm just saying they're not really women because they have gender fluidity. So maybe we should not.
There's a link. Okay,
not.
I'm
Maybe we
diving
should.
into this. I'm gonna start reading.
Ace,
Maybe we should
Ace,
not
you're hurting
focus on
Seth.
Born
You're
of
hurting
Darkness.
Seth.
You're making me sicker.
Chapter 5.
You're making
I'm
Seth
getting sicker
sicker.
again.
Chapter 5.
That's
where you.
That's gonna be how your daddy fetish backfires. You're gonna find a nice big daddy, but his way of treating you bad is gonna talk to you about gender politics.
He's gonna make you call him Donald Trump.
I'm gonna
as
start
that.
getting turned on.
Ooh.
This is why Seth's still sick, because Ace is just
There's just so much damn inequality in this world.
Born of Darkness, Chapter 5, The Lab. Am I going to read these? These.
I just realized this fucking thing is genrefied over under romance and tragedy.
I can't believe we're still reading this story after taking 4 weeks off.
I know. I've been watching the fuck out of Gumball again, and I'm really sad and nostalgic for Gumball fiction. I'm like, man,
Maybe the next one.
what a colorful, fun world this. I just want to read stories about how Gumball's doing drugs.
You know what? I'm not saying this is
I keep
really.
threatening to write that Eric fan fiction.
Oh
man.
shit! You've got to do that,
Oh,
man.
wait,
You've got to do that. You've got to do it.
You basically need to be the Christopher Nolan of Eric and do kind of like Eric Rises, like the Eric trilogy.
Oh, okay. I could do that. Mm-hmm.
Dark Eric Rises.
In my retelling of the Gumball universe, I don't want there to be magic or anything, so it's very ambiguous whether Carrie's a ghost or not, or if she died on that train.
Anyway, Born of
Good call.
Darkness, Chapter 5, The Lab. Am I going to read that? I woke when the light hit me
No,
right in the
let's
temple,
skip
felt
the
something
fucking-
cold, touched my toes as
Okay.
it passed. Might not be the face you
No more
expected, but he's
poetry.
clearly insane. Got
Unless
me
you
pegged
read
in
it
the
like
back.
Donald Trump.
What song's this, Matt? Do you know what this is? Just need a bit of luck.
Probably
Get 'em
some
up.
fucking coal chamber or
I
some
have
shit.
The eyes.
no idea.
At the knees, had
Or
to shoot,
like
had
Fear
to fight.
Factory or...
Gonna take out the gunmen.
Slap
Bit
that.
of luck, get them up. Made to run for our lives, take out the knees. Had to choose, had to fight, gonna take out the gunman. Yeah, okay. Raven sat next to Starfire, who was trying to cut some 16-year-old girl into making out with her. Light refracted off various corners and glass nuances in the warehouse, washing the horny Titan with neon greens and vibrant reds. Starfire had secretly hoped the liquor and lighting combined with dark music and weed would be enough to persuade someone to occupy her bed tonight. As charming as the Titan was, her skills weren't enough to move the teen. Does anyone know who they are in this?
What does it take?
No, in fact, I'm having.
What does it take? She has superpowers.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to fuck her.
It's weird, isn't it? It's weird.
Oh, okay. I guess the girl's straight. That makes sense.
Oh, right.
Oh, am I the? I'll be the teen.
Yeah,
I'm not really into girls, but you are cute. Can we just be friends?
Am I also Starfire? I've forgotten.
I believe I was Starfire and
I was Raven. That's it. I was
Cyborg.
Raven. Okay, I was Raven and Robin.
I was Cyborg. Yeah, and Seth was Sass.
He was
Seth.
Oh yeah, Starfire had an indistinguishable accent. You don't like me?
Starfire asked. She shook her head. Not like that.
Okay, sure.
Your voice.
Not like
no.
that. Maybe we can trade numbers later, but I'd rather just be friends.
Starfire felt a deflation.
Surely I am deeply regretting my actions. You'll be friends, Maggie.
Maggie, the rave-tinged teen, grinned, nodded, and left the booth. Only Star and Raven remaining. There was a moment of silence. The alien girl trying to hide her bruised ego. She folded her hands together, leaned forward and back, then unfolded them and picked up her nearby shot glass.
Maybe next time.
She cheerfully expressed to,
Very nice. How much?
really no one, and then slammed down the whiskey.
She was pretty too.
Raven picked up a glass of beer and sipped on it. The half-demon woman knew a good female body when she saw it. Wide hips, a tight rear end, and inviting cleavage. But she also knew a heterosexual on sight. Perhaps a strange...
Damn it! Sexuality is on a spectrum!
Perhaps a strange facet of her powers. Her father never told her
Ow.
that with great power...
I hurt my hand!
With great power becomes great orientation detection. Oh,
What the fuck?
Jesus.
I hurt my hand really bad!
Ace can't draw anymore, that's so funny. You've injured yourself.
I slammed my hand on the edge of my desk like an idiot!
Oh, you idiot. Oh, fucking hell.
How would you know, Raven? I thought you liked boys from your own dimension!
Starfire sat back, arms slung over the booth's upper railing. Raven shrugged, a good answer, evading her.
They can get intolerable.
You have eyes for sex?
Starfire giggled, nudging her playfully. Raven glared at her, then finished her beer.
I am keeping an eye on him to see what he does if you're curious.
Sure thing!
Starfire was looking around again, probably for someone else.
Oh, it's me. Oh, sometimes I have to read ahead to figure out who's talking. Really, you know how I feel about that love concept amongst people.
Raven gazed into the moving bodies of the night, fighting the truth that maybe she was developing a lustful interesting in the newcomer. That's what it said. Star chuckled.
Well, that's too bad, Lady Raven. I suppose I can interest you in me.
This was not the first time Starfire had propositioned Raven.
We're merely allies. Maybe friends, if you want to put it that way.
Several months ago, Starfire had crawled into bed with Raven and, well, it solidified her belief that the two would merely remain close friends. Okay. Star sighed, then smirked.
I suppose, except that one night.
Hush.
Raven stood and dispersed into the warehouse. She knew better than...
God, I'm giving myself gas.
She knew better than to stick around an intoxicated person with carnal desires. Most importantly, she didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, including her own. The idea of doing dirty things, flesh against flesh, was reserved, not particularly for someone else, but more so to avoid any dangerous after effects. What the fuck? She could only imagine how it would feel and the things her powers would do to the physical world in that state of mind. Seeing Seth across the way She did just that. Imagined. Is it me or is it? She's a squirter. Is that what that's saying? That paragraph? I'm not sure.
Hope so.
Yeah. The party,
I'm sorry. Did I say that? Whoops.
The party pounded. The party pounded on long into the night, switching through different songs and artists. They were mostly by Korn.
Oh God. That
was probably what that song was at the beginning. They mostly
Generally
by
have
Korn,
those.
though there were a few exceptions. Slipknot, Nine Inch Nails, Chevelle, and even some Aphex Twin would sprinkle themselves throughout.
Why
Go
Aphex
No,
Twins? I'm really perplexed. I know Aphex Twins commonly done hand in hand with like Nine Inch Nails, but it doesn't really work for your goth industrial party when you just have like.
Can you imagine if that kicked
I think
in?
my favorite Aphex Twin story is that he had a live show and he came out and he put sandpaper on a turntable and then put the record on and left.
That's
so
class.
I mean,
he's just stuck in. They would sprinkle themselves throughout in some sort of weird sonic encapsulation. Half the teens didn't recognize the artists, and the portion of the other half.
Oh my God! Yeah. No! You don't have this. What is this obscure music? I want to fuck you like an animal. Oh no! This isn't Britney Spears. I'm a teenager, and I only know about this. It's like, who the fuck doesn't know who Korn, Slipknot, and Nine Inch Nails are? That's literally the most mundane.
Yeah.
Not even even teeny boppers know that shit. Even hip young millennial girls named Kyla are like, I love that song, that with teeth song, that Bite the Hand That Feeds You from Nine Inch Nails. Oh, I love that song. It's so dark. Everybody loves these bands. Everybody knows a Korn song. He's acting like this is some obscure shit that teenagers would be like, whoa. Like, he's acting like he's talking about 45 Grave or something. It pisses me off when he's just like, artists that teens wouldn't recognize. And then a man came on who had a woman's name. It was Marilyn, but the last name was Manson, and it sounded sinister. And a song that nobody ever heard of because it was super underground called The Beautiful People started playing. And the teens were horrified. Oh, no! As the speakers ooze with obsidian. Fuck off!
Here's the thing. Half the teens didn't recognise the artist. Siri, what song is this? You know, I mean, it's not difficult, really. Fucking hell. And the portion of the other half seemed indifferent. There were a few, however, who reconciled with shrouded memories of Trent Reznor and Richard D. James as time passed.
Shrouded memory. Okay, sure.
I don't know.
I still listen to most of these bands like every day, so...
These bands are still played as staples on rock stations. Like, don't fucking name Nine Inch Nails and pretend like you're talking about Bathory. Don't try to act like this is some
good part.
Seth found it hard to believe some of the sights presented throughout the weave of the night. The weave of the night. Nudity, drugs, and blatant vandalism. Violence was slim.
So blatant.
Violence was slim, if there at all, which was something the team had been grateful for, including Obsidian. Slowly the teens trickled out of the warehouse in ones and twos. 3 in the morning, in ones and twos. 3, it says 1, 2, 3. 3 in the morning came with deliberate accuracy.
Somebody explain that one to me. Explain that sentence
3
to me.
in the morning came with deliberate accuracy.
Almost like
It's
clockwork.
like every morning at this time, it's 3 o'clock to the second, to the fucking second. Either too tired, too drunk, too high, or too partied out, they stumble.
Also, what kind of hardcore goth warehouse club dance do you go to that ends at 3? Like, oh, it's 3, guys, better go home.
It's late.
Good.
Let's go.
Usually it's 4 o'clock where you end up washed up at some Denny's somewhere with makeup smeared across your face, eating a plate of nachos with 5 other dudes, wondering what the hell happened to the night.
Dude, I've been there.
Oh yeah. Me too. Either too tired, too drunk, too high, or too partied out, they stumble their ways to their cars to probably crash and die, or something of a similar nature. What is similar to crashing and dying? Seth and the other Titans eventually made their way back home. The calm of euphoria trailing in their wake, Obsidian drove with cold precision, unaffected by the night's fervour. The zeal of such gatherings, while laden with sex and happiness, sex and happiness, happiness. No, okay.
Yes.
Held no barring for him right now. His only focus was getting home and thinking about what the hell he'd do next. The taste of the city's heart had made him worried. What? Natters. Natters. Is that Natters? Is that, I know. It's gonna be.
Yes.
Is that Natters? Naters? I don't know what that would surely wipe away any form of good or happiness. Good.
Do you know what this author's problem is? I'm being serious. I'm actually being seriously objective. I'm doing this with deliberate accuracy.
Yeah.
He sets up these set pieces, but he does nothing with them. He sets up these characters going to a place, and then nothing happens of any value.
Yeah.
There's no gainful dialogue. There's no good interactions. This whole car ride home where he's describing how they're washing through the euphoria of a party, it could have been a fun time to have quirky, humorous, or at least interesting dialogue. Yeah. You could have had the characters flipping through stations like Cyborg turns on Phil Collins or some shit, and he's like, yeah, this is my jam. And Robin's like, I don't want to listen to Phil Collins, I'm brooding right now. And you could have interesting dialogue, you could have interchangeability with characters, instead of just having this perpetual, like, I'm going to describe the night, the dark euphoria washed upon the silver glistening skyline.
Oh.
Perfectly flowery, beautiful. That is the erect cock of the porn, but you don't have the fucking. You have a big, glorious wiener, but you're doing nothing with it. You just have a big old cock.
No,
that's what the story is.
Say that again
slower
and let me turn my lights down.
Does that mean
erect cock of the porn without the fucking? I'm gonna quote you on that.
That's what this is, though. It's like you have that, you have this glistening, handsome member, but nothing's going on with it.
Good was a
Tragic.
term. Good was a term that fell somewhere between relativity and subjectivity. Smoking a large portion of marijuana and having lots of sex was fun, and if done correctly, didn't hurt anyone, but still felt under bad for most people.
Oh my god!
Hold on. And if done correctly, didn't hurt anyone. Okay. This wasn't evil.
I knew I shouldn't have put that doobie in my butt. Oh no!
I fucked her in the ear. This wasn't evil to sense. I'd seen evil, and fun wasn't that. Evil was chaos and destruction.
Where the fuck are we?
People gathering around to enjoy each other's company was the opposite of whatever. Is that Natters? What is that anyway? Natas.
I have no idea.
Natters
I don't know.
would bring.
Seth, you watch Teen Titans.
Or take away, rather. Who is that?
Googling it.
Natas. I feel like I can't.
The National Academy of Television Arts and
Sciences.
Really?
Sciences.
No.
Well, probably
Is
not.
It's not. It's a character.
Or a national ahead of time in space.
Nah, it's a character. It's a character. Yet Seth drove. This was only because Robin was passed out in a drunken near coma. Starfire did not know how. Raven had no wish to, and Cyborg had accidentally sent himself into a far deeper depression during a smoking session with several old friends. Oh, who's Cyborg?
Oh, it's Satan backwards.
Was my voice for Cyborg really racist?
I think you.
Nats is a Satan backwards. You're right. Yeah.
Oh, did I?
That's right.
Did I?
Yeah.
I thought it was like. I thought I went for like obviously like
just hold on a sec. So yeah, Seth, you're right.
I think that's just low hanging fruit. I think that's why you didn't do that.
No,
it's like everything is pointless.
Cyborg covered his face, shaking his head gently. Hold on, just going back to that Natters. So Satan backwards. Is this the real evil of
it is a DC character.
Oh, right, okay.
I think it's also Deathstroke.
Oh, right, okay. That's
or, I don't know. I'm not reading.
I don't know if this...
Not a character I've ever heard of, so...
No. Satan backwards. Go on, sorry. Seth. Oh, Seth?
If it's pointless, why not give it a point?
Seth asked, turning a corner.
Pro motherfucking pound, but no. What do you mean?
Seth had come to a halt. A collection of the city's stoplights glowing crimson red over the car, nose deep in an intersection. The new alley turning to face Cyborg's welling depression. What the fuck? Ally. Seth made sure.
Yeah, if there is one personality trait to attach to Cyborg, it's dysphoria. That's for sure.
Seth made sure to focus his gaze so deep into Cyborg's mind. It'd take an apocalyptic situation to distract him. Cyborg went quiet, full attention diverted to Seth.
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
Seth plainly stated. Cyborg raised his brow.
What?
The lights switched over to green, Seth finishing his slow of advice before beginning to drive again.
It is only after you've lost everything that you are free to do anything.
Seth turned another corner, checking his watch, then concluded.
Only after disaster can we be resurrected.
Cyborg
And he crashes the car.
A big flaming fireball. Cyborg sunk silently back into his seat. With that, Seth Obsidian continued home. It was around 5 a.m.
How profound do you think this author thinks he is? Like, how much do you think he's sitting there going, yeah,
Hey,
I am like
so
Shakespeare.
deep. It was around 5 a.m. before the Titans finally arrived home. Along the way, orbs of dying sodium incandescences mixed with the group's swimming intoxication and highs, providing an ambient filter to the rest of the night. What the fuck? The car arrived, Seth stepping out of it to assess the observable situation. Robin was dragged feet first by Cyborg into the tower and to his bed. The hero had succumbed to somewhat too much alcohol, even though Seth and he had a sort of contest earlier. Obsidian did feel slight remorse. Somewhere deep down, Robin was trying to prove he was a good person, though didn't know how to express it accurately.
Look out! He's out!
Cyborg had said. Raven was the only one to respond.
No one saw that coming.
Robin fighting for notice but stuck in the undercurrent of an alcoholic tide. In other words, he came off as a first-grade jerk. Raven went to her room almost immediately, only shooting a glance or two at Seth as she left. Starfire was acting calm and strange, probably laughing too much for her own good. This was likely an after effect of the party's potent weed and other drugs, though memory served that Star had only drank most of the night. Cyborg went to his room and then promptly fell asleep. Still depressed, but at least re-examining his meaning, Seth thought. Maybe he'd perk up in coming times. What the fuck? Seth watched them all go out and stood outside. As if a statue. His frighteningly efficient
so
internal system allowed him to operate with only one hour of sleep at night.
Nobody cares.
So sometimes
Nobody cares.
Is he saying
something's gonna
anything
happen.
at all?
Something's gonna happen.
What is going on?
Sometimes he chose not to go to sleep at all. The only drawback came in terms of nightmares.
Tony, you're saying words, but I can't decipher
You know
them.
what? I don't even know what I'm saying. And mazes of dark and disturbing dreams.
I don't know what you're saying either.
He grimaced, lighting a cigarette. Thoughts of Raven nude. Oh, hold on, it's picking up now. Undressing. Oh yeah.
I understand that one.
Oh, yeah, wait.
Came to his mind. He brushed them off, unwilling to pay attention to his more primitive side at the moment.
Calm yourself.
He whispered beneath his breath, taking another deep drag. He had gone to the top of the Titan Tower. I don't want to spoil this fan fiction by fucking up some of the words.
Yeah, he's on top of the tower. There's birds and the sun's rising. It's beautiful. Blah blah blah.
100 foot drop over.
And then he goes inside and there's Raven. She sat quietly at the kitchen table, nursing the mug of steaming contents. Go. Fuck that description. Fuck it. Oh my god, this fucking thing's killing me.
Go on. No. It's Seth.
Just. Oh, did you really want to skip all that? Okay.
Do you really want to go through, like, sentence after sentence of, and then he looked out and he saw the cityscape and he knew that it was tumultuous and empty like he was inside, and a darkness had cast over his mind, and he thought of Raven.
Basically, that paragraph basically says he needs coffee. That's it, basically.
Yeah, true. Coffee?
Seth asked. Their eyes met and silence reigned. Something crackled on the air, something strange and unfamiliar to both of them.
Oh my god. Yeah.
she responded, drinking. A small screen mounted on the wall of the mess hall chimed silently, begging for attention. Raven gave Seth a final look and lithely rose to her feet and stalked over to the audio-video unit. Someone's face appeared on the screen, probably the police force's contact to the Teen Titans. He appeared displeased and almost frantic. There were strained tones as the man explained the situation to Raven. In the end, she simply nodded, informed him that the Titans would be there quickly, and shut down the unit. Oh, it's all happening now. She turned back to Seth, who was simply sipping down his coffee and chomping on a chicken breast from a few nights ago.
Is Tony gone?
Oh no, he's.
You cut out for a second.
Oh right, sorry. Yeah, I did Raven said. Is it Raven?
I need your help.
Raven said.
What?
Seth replied. She stammered for some reason.
It's important.
Seth nodded.
Okay, what is it?
Go and wake Cyborg. Inform him that we are needed for a mission.
Raven explained. Seth nodded once, needing no further explanation. They both made their way to the elevator, wanted to speak to each other but failing. The ride up towards the living quarters was silent, and before either of them could say anything anyway, the lift arrived with chromium steel-built doors sliding wide open. Oh, there's those doors again. The two dark beings left each other and strode off down the hallway towards their respective tasks. Seth found Cyborg's room easily enough, and once he did, he knocked on it rather loudly.
What?
Finally came the reply.
We have acquired a mission. Be ready quickly.
Seth replied, then turned and left.
Someone get the ham. Let me tell you how excited I am.
Cyborg's voice.
It's my thing now. I rhyme.
Cyborg's.
That's what I do.
Every single line. Cyborg's voice trailed off as Seth walked away. He headed towards his own room to gather up his things. Now it was time for possibly a little bit of action. Time for battle. Seth lived for battle, quite literally. It's how he was bred, designed and engineered. He had been born and raised for war, created for combat. It was his life. He saw things like friendship. He's going to get killed, isn't he? You can tell. He saw things like friendship and comforts and commodities as trivial things. Well, he had his views were changing. There was only battle for him. Seth arrived at his room and entered it, then swiftly went about pulling his stuff together. He pulled on his trench coat, slid his weapons into their respective places, and then headed back.
Dressed, we get it.
I know. And then headed back out of the room. The pistols were fully loaded with hollow tip rounds, casings with a bit of extra powder for more of a pow. He'd seen the test dummies react to these rounds, even remembering fitting his fists into the holes of the powerful ammunition had left. Kinky. When he arrived at the elevator, he found that Cyborg was already there. He looked rigid and almost stood to attention.
What happened? You didn't sound thrilled earlier.
Seth checked the edge of his knife, sharp as hell and persistent.
Fucking hurts my throat.
I had the urge. I got a purge.
Cyborg rhymed plainly. There was suddenly noise from somewhere in the hallway, and the others came down. Robin stumbling down the hallway, he groaned and clutched at his head in the great pain known as a hangover. Seth felt a tiny smack tease the corner of his mouth.
So bad.
He's got a hangover.
Thought you held your alcohol well.
Seth said.
Go to hell.
Sorry, Robin replied, stumbling to a halt before the lift.
No.
I got a hangover.
Just let me say it.
I've been
Just let me
drinking
say it.
too much for sure.
Just let me say it. Been there, done that.
Seth replied calmly. They all finally came into the elevator as the doors slid open again. The place seemed somewhat packed. For the most part, we're gonna have a description of how the size of the elevator. For the most part, no one said anything. Passing lights in the shaft quickly.
It was a large elevator filled with lights and chrome wall.
Robin finally took note of the cyborg's rigidness and sharpness. Curious. Bi-curious.
What? This is... Okay. Why are you so uppity this morning? You had at least as much as I did.
He asked.
I don't know how to rhyme all of
I
this.
flushed everything out of
You
this.
just do it. You gave yourself too much work.
I did!
Hold on.
I flushed
Hold on.
everything from my system using a special drug called Urge. You want some, hun?
I'm like a mother. Hold on.
That kinda
I'm like a motherfucking piston. I flushed everything out of my system. Come on, Ace.
Oh,
Cyborg
that's good.
replied.
That is really... I'm not good at that kind of thing, though. If I was good at that, I wouldn't be doing a podcast with you guys. I would be Eminem.
Alrighty then. Might as well. Wait, where? Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Might
you
as
got it.
well. We've got a mission coming up.
Robin replied, holding out his hand like a child wanting candy. Cyborg handed him a small pill, so he stepped out of the elevator.
Where the fuck? I must warn you, Spigga-Duck-Hamburger.
Cyborg said in a vague rhyme as Robin put it into his mouth.
Ooh.
Hello.
Sexy.
You might want to be near a toilet or a
It is
sink.
getting sexy.
Wiggity wonkin.
This is getting
dink.
sexy.
Sexy time. That's about when.
This
Hold
fucking
on, yeah, hold on,
story
hold on.
is
Hold on,
like
let me
the
read-
worst
let
thing.
Let me read this line. That's about when Robin swallowed it. He suddenly pulled a face. He suddenly pulled a face and vomited all over the carpet, retching up the last few
Should have had some
gobs
pineapple first.
of stomach acid and leftover sour mash whiskey. Anyone else hard? Is it just me?
God
This
damn
story is FUBAR.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. True.
At no point, like at this point, the rest of the story could be like, and then they opened the door and it was Gumball and Eric, and
yeah,
it would still,
yeah.
nothing about it would be even remotely
You're right.
redeeming.
You're right.
This is the worst thing. I think I've now said that about everything we've read,
Yeah.
but I stand
It
by
just
it
gets
this
progressively
time.
worse.
This
Who
is
chose
the
this one? Just
worst
remind me
thing.
who chose this fan fiction.
Whoever chose this is a giant asshole.
It was
was
Seth,
it?
guys. It
What?
was Seth.
Seth?
It's so good, isn't it?
Is Seth
so good.
Is Seth the one who like?
It's so bad.
Miss-
I'm having so much. I'm getting ADHD just sitting here. I'm like sitting here just wiggling. I'm like
pins
I'm
and
like,
needles.
oh my
The
god.
amount of times Tony's been like reading his part and I've completely zoned out.
Zoned out. You know what? I've struggled. I was zoning out while I was reading. I was like, oh, concentrate,
I'm just waiting for
concentrate.
Tony to like partway through a sentence be like, and then he.
I'm
I
close.
keep
I'm
looking
very
ahead,
close to
and
that.
this doesn't stop. It just keeps going and going, and then there's more, and then this is so much. I mean, can we just can we not?
Oh.
Can we just pretend like we read this one and read Gamble? I want to read Gumball and Dickwig the Fash and their almonds and visions.
I tell you what.
Or
Why don't we?
or SpongeBob.
Why don't we get to the end of this one this week and read some?
Because it's so
No,
far
the
away.
end of this chapter, and then
It's so
next
far.
week. Next week.
We're only Tony. We're only halfway there.
No, and next.
Come on, we
moving
only
on
have
a
12
prayer.
chapters left.
It's like, is this hell?
We're only halfway through this chapter.
You know what? Has there been a nuclear war?
more than
Has there been a
halfway.
nuclear war and we've all died and we've gone to hell and this is
They're
it?
going to. You know what's gonna happen?
Hurrah, this is Supreme Reader, you
what
guys,
happens when
and
we
guess what? I am launching nuclear war in your country.
So Roan Reed.
I hate how accurate that movie is.
Oh, no.
I hate how accurate that movie
I-
is because right now there are literally
Yeah.
celebrities who are tweeting like, "Oh, I don't know, Donald Trump needs to stop being such a bad guy to North Korea." It's like, it's fucking North Korea.
Jesus.
If there's one people we can be a dick to, it's that
Oh,
guy.
yeah, definitely. Fucking hell. Let's get to the end of
Let's
this.
get to the
Come
end
on.
of this chapter. Are we,
Okay,
guys, are
fine.
we gonna
I'm-
make it to the end of this chapter?
No, it's so far
Now
away.
you keep interrupting.
You know what?
But even if I
I'm actually hoping World War III breaks out right now, so we don't have to get to the end of this chapter.
Okay, we're
We'll
pretty
get
close.
killed.
We're pretty close. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Go,
Let's do it.
go. God damn it.
I lost our place.
God damn
Yeah,
it.
I had no idea.
You say God damn
Oh, god damn it.
He
yelled in anger, wiping his mouth.
Yeah. We got it.
I tried to warn you.
Cyborg replied, grinning in a smug fashion. Starfire patted him on the back.
It's okay, Robin. I did the same thing the first time.
Ace,
Tony!
I'm sorry, Ace, you just totally cut out then. I couldn't fucking hear you. He only glared at her, then stood.
Oh.
Whatever, let's just get out of here.
They all headed towards the exit.
Question is, how do we get there?
Maybe drive?
Cyborg asked. What a big puzzle. Raven and Starfire looked at each other, one of them saying...
Which one of us is saying this? You say it. I don't want to say it.
One of them saying it.
Now.
One of them saying
No, maybe we should say it together.
No,
Let us
worry about one of them saying.
Worry about it. No, we're going to do it together.
Let us worry about that.
As they stepped out into the brilliant sunlight, Starfire picked up Robin via an alien.
Sexy.
Starfire picked up Robin via an alien glow. Seth and Cyborg being picked up by Raven's strange dark energies. With that, the team headed into the city. Battle was coming. Okay.
That's not the only thing that's coming.
They found the.
That's a penis joke. If you like those, please hit that. Please pound that like and subscribe button.
We're so
share us on
close.
Facebook and Twitter.
We're the #1 penis joke podcast on the internet. They found the place.
We're really good at making penis
Well,
jokes.
we're renaming the show.
We don't like vaginas,
Come
though, do
on.
we? We don't like vaginas.
Oh, God damn it,
penises.
guys.
They found the place that was being broken in. Seth's never going to recover, you know. We're going to stop your recovery.
We really are
It's
close.
obvious. They found the place that was being broken into easily enough. One wall was blown open. There's no full stop there. Smoke rising high and billowing up into the air. The building was a research laboratory, according to Raven. There were a dozen cop cars on the streets and more on the way.
How many cops do you think they sent?
Robin asked. Cyborg shrugged.
All of them, I think.
SWAT teams and local law enforcement officers were surrounding the building as to make sure that no one got out, and 2 helicopter units littered about in the air. Fucking hell, keeping an eye on the whole scene from a bird's eye view. It must have been important, Seth thought. Whatever was in there held high value, considering the city hadn't seen much crime in a while. It may be nerves. Seth.
Do you think it's true that your cock looks bigger from underneath? You often hear that, like, if you look at a penis from, like, underneath, it actually looks much bigger.
We're so close to the end.
As the Titans landed, the police officer approached, gun in hand, and sweat over his stricken face. The police officer says, "Do you think your penis looks bigger?" Oh no, he doesn't. No, Robin was approached first. The others, an afterthought.
What's going on?
Robin asked.
From what we can tell, it's an army of Slade's robots. They've broken in and we have no idea what they're doing in there.
Whoa. Slade, as in the 70s band, Slade, the rock band.
Yes.
The man replied. Yeah.
No, the DC character. Try to keep up.
Oh, right, sorry. It'd be more fun if it was the 70s band.
Slade!
Starfire piped. Piped.
I thought we got rid of him.
Cyborg scratched his head.
I bet he did. I bet he did.
We know what head.
Alright, we'll take care of it.
Robin turned towards the others, pausing for a moment. Suddenly, Seth was off running.
Get back!
The officer shouted, falling back to his car. Obsidian was already reaching into his trench coat, extracting the 2 modified Berettas as he entered through the hole in the wall.
This right here is why I didn't want to keep reading.
Oh, fucking hell.
Look at this!
Oh,
This is the meat of it. This is why we read this.
Right, here we go. Let's get through this. Let me get through this. Debris and heat trailed trailed past his face, his nerves burning with pain. No, he thought pain is an illusion. A few turns and sprints, and he was deep inside, ready to blow, very sexual, ready to blow away whatever that stood in his path. He came into a rather large room. That was obviously one of the labs within the building. Tables were overturned. Glass was everywhere. The place was just generally a mess. Chemicals, things not really supposed to interact with each other, did so. Rank smells of reaction fumed. Singing. That says singing his nostrils.
Singeing.
Yeah, it says... a trio of robots that all looked exactly the same, from which the Slade must have looked like, approached Seth with an almost calm speed. Their red glowing eyes beckoned for destruction. He raised one of his pistols and fired off three shots. Why were their eyes glowing?
All
of them directly between the androids' eyes. The robots' heads blew apart, shattering in a glorious plume of sparks and metal.
Their robot heads blew apart.
They were torn away by the immensely powerful bullets, and the three headless bodies fell to the ground, twitching and giving out to the loss of CPU. Oh.
Now they're going to
The loss of CPU.
Oh,
it just seeped all over the ground.
I have a loss of CPU. I've lost my
loss
sense
of CPU. That's the
unit.
number one cause of robot death.
Oh. Seth.
Pathetic.
Thoughts as he continued on into the lab. Hell came in a handcart. The forces were definitely ready for him. Strangely enough, that or the whole team. Somewhere in the back, he could hear Robin yelling for him to wait until everyone assembled. But time was short, too short. Obsidian groaned as he aimed his pistol. Dozens of robots began to pour in through the few doorways along the back wall. The only motivation to murder.
Seth is the kind of person who, when playing Left 4 Dead, he's the guy that runs ahead of everyone.
Leroy Jenkins.
Go first. Seth grinned, feeling the adrenaline.
I've only
of
ever
combat.
done that like once.
Combat boiling in his blood. Now this was more like it. He raised his two specialized pistols and opened fire. The 21 bullets were each heart and headshots, each instant kills. It wouldn't matter anyway, the rounds were so destructive. Hitting somewhere near the head was enough to vaporize his skull. One of the Berettas were out of ammo. Seth did not feel the need to reload them. Now would be the moments for some hack and slash, he thought. He simply shoved them back into his pocket and extracted the knife. Time for a little dirty work. The first of the surviving robots came out. Meeting with grim determination and his blade. This is what he was meant for and all he could ever aspire to be. At least
with
in
his
these moments, ruthless, calculating, methodical, and lightning fast. The first one that came to Seth was cut down. In an instant, he brought his combat knife down with a savage fury and slammed it into the top of the thing's head. A slew of metal and cybernetic goo spilling onto the floor. It cut through the metal with ease and hit the central computer system that ran the robot, stopping it in an instant like a hot knife through butter. Seth smirked, devious and ready for the next one. Seth yanked the knife out and spun it round in a circle, sort of battle dance to the highest forms of martial arts. The razor-sharp blade sliced off arms and fingers, bits and pieces of the robot in a whirlwind of carnage. One came at him, missing an arm, and he kicked its chest in. Pop! While the robot was on the ground, Seth brought his foot down with a sort of calm rage, completely smashing its head. The electrical surge that transpired barely affected him. Pain was an illusion, he reminded himself. He replied,
an illusion.
Oh, fucking hell, I'm trying to keep my shit together. He replaced the knife in its sheath, intent on getting his hands dirtier. Yeah. Seth grabbed two of the robot's heads and banged them together, crushing each of them. The small fireball burns inside his hand. It was sore and reddened palm. In the short burst of pain, a hand came at its face, seeking to do him harm, but he merely grabbed it and ripped it out of the socket. Crunch. He then began to beat the robot with his own arm until the limb was too smashed to be used anymore. Sweat and blood mist from his face dripped into the floor in little ominous puddles. Once again, Seth grabbed another robot's head and ripped it off, then smashed it into another one. This time needing the remains in his hand for a brief second, and then as quickly as that it was over, he stood in amid a sea of dead robots, detached limbs and severed heads. Ordered chaos, destruction breeds construction. Destruction breeds construction. Creation, he mused. Broken bodies lay all around him, and he still stood untouched. The ultimate fighter, the unstoppable warrior, the psychotic killer. Seth killed and loved every minute of it. The Titans, unnoticed until now, save for the distant echo call of their team leader, stood well back in the hole. They had been there the whole time for fear of getting set away and being injured. Silence rage. No, sorry, silence reigned for a while until Cyborg came up with something short to say.
Damn.
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Can we read something different next week? Let's read something different.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
Okay, Ace, it's up to you to find something better.
We're going to leave it. We're going to leave it. Chapter. We are going to leave it.
The next chapter is called Walking Home. That's got to be good.
Oh yeah! And then Seth was the fastest at walking home.
Yeah.
He used his ninja boots and didn't make any sounds. And then Cyborg was like, I'm a great big fat black homosexual. And then Robin was like, I'm a stupid asshole. And he was like, shut up, you two. I'm really good. And then Raven was like, I think I love you, but I love women. That's okay. I actually love Raven. And Raven was like, be mine. And then they walked for a long time, and the city was a crimson jewel of darkness as ebony flowed outwards and the sky became a crimson fucking... I'm laying on the floor right now.
That is the end. That is the end of Born of Darkness.
I am rolled off of my chair and was just rolling around like Mr. Poopy Butthole at the end of season 2 of Rick and Morty.
What do you think is gonna happen?
Crooning to myself.
Ooh-wee.
Guys.
I'm rolling around on my floor right now and just... I can't take it. Holy shit.
Right, I'm going to use the healing power of my beard and remind you all.
You can't heal this mess. The mess that Seth has made, there's no healing that.
If Seth is left to choose fanfiction, then we stop him choosing fanfiction because it's not magic, it's science. Ace, you're going to do it next week, so deal with it. I'm not a motherfucking kid.
I gotta get back on
See
my
you all
chair.
next week. Say goodbye,
See ya,
everyone.
bye.
Does anybody else want to fuck the Pop-Tart girl?